Hello, and I want to welcome you to the second ever podcast called the DataCentered Podcast. This is the second episode. Last week we had a wonderful time with Fabian and Gijsbert. And today I'm sitting here with a new face. Matthijs, welcome.
I've had this face for longer, but...
Oh, yeah. It's a new face for us, for the listener, and also a new voice, of course.
Yep.
So, Matthijs, you're a developer at Serverius.
Yes.
What do you do exactly?
Develop.
Just develop.
Create software, yeah.
And what kind of software have you created?
Just some basic API software, but also complete web application firewalls and other, all server communication software.
Ah, all right. Sounds cool. Was it difficult to make?
The more difficult, the better.
Yeah.
Some parts are, some parts aren't.
Yeah. So you like the challenge?
Yes.
Very cool. Nice. So to get to know you a bit better, last week we did a Would You Rather with Fabian and Gijsbert as well. I would like to play the same game with you. So I have some questions prepared for you. You can just answer which one you would prefer. First, would you rather specialize in one programming language for your entire career or constantly learn and adapt to new technologies?
Well, both, really. It really depends on what I would want to use it for. So yeah, I don't like to get stuck on one thing. But if that's what I need, then yeah, that might happen. Yeah,
that's a good explanation. Second one, Mac OS, Windows 11 or Linux?
I like the ease of use from Windows, but I prefer development on Linux.
Yeah? Is it really that different?
It's not really much different, but there are a couple of things that just make it easier, like support for different environments, and yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not really much of a Linux user. I guess I will make some people mad, but I always do everything on Windows. I do have a small server at home which does run Linux. But it's always just searching up tutorials to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
It's not very convenient for me, at least. But I do understand the versatility of it, right? That's the main selling reason of Linux, right? And also it being open source.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. The last one, and I think this is a very difficult one. Would you rather write code in Comic Sans or use Internet Explorer?
I'll go for Comic Sans.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking, because Internet Explorer, of course, is very old.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Edge.
About Edge, that should be a lot better.
Yeah. You think Edge is that your preferred browser of choice?
Yeah. Well, in that case, compared to the Comic Sans font, I really couldn't say.
Yeah.
I think the browser should work fine, so yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right. Thank you for these answers. Just a quick...
I usually use multiple browsers anyway, so...
Yeah, you use multiple?
Yeah.
Not just one?
Yeah.
Why?
One browser is better in this, the other in that.
Well, which browsers do you use?
Mostly Chrome and Firefox.
But they're both Chromium, right? Or...
Yeah, but there are differences in the development tools in there. And, yeah.
All right. I guess we can move on to the first topic of this podcast. Last week we talked about a data center on the moon, and there was a discussion about whether it would be a data center or not, because it was just like one server or something. And we got a little bit talking, and we discussed the possibility of having internet on the moon, and none of us really knew the answer. So I dove into it this week, and I have answers. I've come back with answers, and yes, there is internet in space, and it's called interplanetary internet, and it's been in development for a long time, because the internet, unlike the ISS, the International Space Station, is very slow, like dial-up slow. or maybe even slower. But they are working on and maybe already implemented some laser technology that can speed it up really fast. So yes,
they have at least tested the sending stuff down to Earth, right?
Yeah. I think they transferred a video file using the old. It was using radio frequency from Earth to the destination. I'm not really sure what destination it was again. And then they send it back through the laser, and the trip from Earth to this location took about 6 hours, I believe, and it was more.
I believe it was more. Maybe double that or something.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, the return file took like a couple seconds or minutes. I think it was seconds. Yeah. So yeah. And so that's the development on internet in space. Keeping in space, the first topic I wanted to discuss regarding the news was there are going to be data centers in space, so not on the moon, but in space in general. And this company called Lubin Orbit has gathered some money to produce some test cases for data centers in space. And they will be sent along with the Falcon X from SpaceX. And this got me thinking, why?
Yeah. To be honest, I wouldn't know. I can imagine there are some use cases for it, mostly scientific. Maybe even for creating more accurate maps or stuff like that. It's easier to process some data there.
Yeah.
Especially with those long transfer times.
Yeah, I would assume it's not. I'm just thinking of a certain type of applications that you would prefer to host on a server that's in space.
I don't,
instead of one that's on Earth.
I don't think you necessarily want to host anything that's needs to be accessible for regular use there, because that would have a lot higher latencies. But if you're gathering information there and need to process that, then why not?
Yeah, you mean like this I guess you would call it a satellite, I think. Yeah. Would then gather data orbiting the Earth and then process it on site instead of sending it to Earth.
Yep, that seems to make sense. I don't know how much demand there would be for it, but
yeah. All right.
I do think it's a very limited use case for now.
Yeah, I do think as well, and I'm kind of concerned about it in a certain way because the orbits around Earth are already pretty full. I've seen pictures, and I know these pictures are a bit inflated, but there's a lot of garbage around the orbit on Earth, and it's already a concern. And then just keep adding more stuff to this orbit, and I'm not really sure about the use case, man. It's
it's a bit a different way of being able to destroy your servers instead of throwing coffee over them.
Like we discussed last week. So it's kind of an advanced server throw, then maybe.
And of course you would probably need to have a lot of shielding for it as well, right?
A lot of what?
Shielding.
Yeah. For
the deeper you go, the more radiation you get.
You get a lot of bit flips.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I really don't know. But I can imagine so.
Yeah, I can imagine as well. Yeah, could be. All right. I guess that covers that topic. On to the next topic. It's this week where the big European event Cloudfest takes place in Germany. And of course, I'm sitting here in the studio, but we do have a correspondent on site. Fabian, are you there?
Of course I'm here.
There he is. Hello, Fabian. Welcome in the studio.
Happy to be here.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's nice weather out here, so sitting here with a beer.
you should have a beer, right? It's Germany, of course.
Yeah.
So you were at Cloudfest yesterday and today.
Yes.
Let's start with yesterday. What was going on over there?
Yesterday there wasn't much going on, mostly setup, and there were some small presentations. After a few hours, there was a Dutch cloud community event where were mostly Dutch hosting clients, other companies that were talking business or other stuff, just getting to know each other. And today the big event started, and there were many stands, mostly AI, but also some solutions for data centers to make life easier. There was a special PDU that had the functionality to use C14 and C20 cables in the same port. That was pretty interesting. But mostly, interesting IT stuff.
Yeah, and you talked with a lot of people as well, or especially last night, because it was the Dutch evening, as I've heard. How was that? Was it fun? Did you party?
Yeah, a bit party. Many Dutch people, some suppliers, some clients of ours, also just other Dutch companies that knew our name and wanted to talk to us. Nothing extremely special, but it was fun. So.
Yeah, and today you went on the convention itself. And you mentioned the PD already. Well, are there any other stuff that you see and thought was really interesting?
There were some new servers that had the capability for like 50 drives in the same space as normal server that normally would have 18 or 12 drives, depends on the model you have. So that was quite interesting. And Seagate had a 30 terabyte drive.
30?
30, yeah.
Oh.
So if you would have less storage, you need to buy those.
Yeah.
I guess. But they're pretty interesting stuff there was.
And I did see a competition going on for the fastest server builder, and you being a real support engineer, you of course came first, right?
Unfortunately not. There were some small mistakes I made, and most craziest thing is that we used the power drill on the heatsink. That's not something we usually do because there's too much force on it. But it was quite different to use that. But it was fun. But Gijsbert, who was on the show last week as well, he became third. So he maybe will get the prize. There's a few days to go, so maybe he will get kicked off his throne. But for now.
Maybe I'll go there tomorrow and see if I can beat it as well.
You could give it a try.
Yeah. So you, being a support engineer, lost from Gijsbert being a developer. You work with servers every day.
It hurts, but we're only 10 seconds between us two. So isn't the biggest difference, but...
Well, I mean, 10 seconds, man. It's in the details, Fabian.
Yeah, I know. But the guy said I was... From all the people that went there, I was one of the best and knew it quickest. So, still made a mistake. That's quite hurtful. But...
Yes. All right. So, how much longer are you going to stay there?
We will leave tomorrow. Don't know how late we are going to leave, but we will see. Today we have some stands we need to go to, and some meetings. But for that. There's no real special things, I guess.
You're going to the concert tonight as well? I think there was a concert.
Yeah, there's a sound check going on right in front of me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't heard there was a concert, so maybe I need to check it out. So
yeah, I think every night there is like a big party over there. I did check into it because I was used. I should be going, or at least there was a plan of me to be there, but eventually, it didn't really matter. So have fun over there.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck. So say hi to everyone there. And congratulates Gijsbert from me on his third spot.
Going to be done.
All right, very cool. Thank you very much, man.
And cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
See you later. Bye. All right. Well, that was Fabian.
Yep.
He's having a blast at Cloudfest. It was a live connection, and I'm really surprised that it actually worked on the first try. Amazing.
Yeah, it seemed fine.
Yeah, it seemed fine. Turns out I'm capable at this, so that's a good reassurance. So he mentioned a 30 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Look, I know why they keep developing hard drives, but 30 terabytes.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's more and more required.
Yeah, I guess so.
Also, if you have a single drive with that much storage, it's of course way easier to replace if you need a vast amount of it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I remember a couple of years back when they, I think they announced this. I think it was 24 terabyte drive, or maybe even 18. I'm not sure. And they back then they already said, well, this is the max. We cannot go any further than this. And now it's just 30 terabytes. All right, but there you have it.
Yep.
Amazing. So yeah, on to the next topic, which is the last topic for this podcast. Last week, there was an AI law passed in the European Union.
Yeah, even passed already?
Yeah, I think, or at least it's really close to the European Parliament. At least that's what I've read. Not sure, maybe I read it wrong. Could be. No, I think, or at least it's really close.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are going to be a lot of rules regarding AI, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you need it.
Yeah. I always felt
you already hear a lot of things that are pretty much going wrong with it already. So.
Yeah. For instance, like fake celebrity. It's kind of like Photoshop, really. But there's a lot of imposter stuff going on, a lot of scams with it as well.
Yeah, and of course, in some situations, it's also important that you know what the source of something is.
Yeah, like the news, for example.
Yeah.
Now, I hope that this news article wasn't published by AI. That would be very coincidental. But no, it's a reputable, what do you call it? It's a good news source in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So yeah, to talk about this, I realized that I think always, and especially governments, it's always very slow moving, especially when creating new laws for stuff. Yeah. And especially with like IT and tech, it came really late because the internet has been around for a long time. And I remember, and I'm not that young, or at least I'm not that old. At least I don't consider myself so. That when I was young, the internet was a wild west. Basically, everything you could find everything, and everything was there, and it was all just accessible.
Yep.
And I think maybe with the uprising of like illegally downloading music, especially music, using like Napster and everything like that.
Yeah, I remember Napster.
Yeah, I remember LimeWire was giving your PC a disease just for some free music, some low quality MP3 files. Oh, what a time! But I think pretty much only then that's when the laws became more apparent, right? Yeah. And I think now. So it took a long time, so I'm saying.
But I'm not sure if it should have been fast in that case.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, because that was also the start of introducing, the slowness of it gave rise to things like streaming services that were part of the solution.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I guess that's... like pirating and even movies, it's like a balance between cost and convenience. And as just downloading one song one free song is just so much convenient, more convenient than like buying a CD, and only if you like one song. So yeah, but so you think that it was a natural development, and that it would, if the government would have intervened sooner, you do not think we would have had Spotify or something like that?
I think we still would have those, but I think that the illegal market would still be a lot bigger.
And why do you think that?
Because if there are no alternatives and the ease of use is there, then more people would do it illegally, even if there's even if governments are acting upon it. Well, if there are alternatives, then a lot of people would choose that over doing the illegal stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you first do need those alternatives, because if you don't have them and it's already illegal and that doesn't change, people do what they're used to.
Yeah. So with that in mind, do you think that the European Union is too soon with adding laws?
No, I think it's a very different case, because the other one was more of ease of use for the consumer.
Yeah.
But I think AI is mostly being used on the production side, and it has not that much to do with consumers.
Yeah, I guess so too. Yeah. It's an interesting idea. So these laws that are going to be implemented are laws to protect, I think defamation is what you would call it. Is it defamation? I'm not sure. I don't think it is.
It could be. I'm not sure.
Well, like impersonating government people or journalists or people who supposed to have credibility. And people should trust, like a prime minister or something like that, and spreading fake news, etc. I think that's where AI would really shine, especially in these times.
Yeah.
Where, especially in these times. Let me just keep it at that. So yeah, I think these laws are a good thing, and I like that they are relatively fast, especially because. I think AI AI has been around for a long time, but only since last year with the release of ChatGPT, it was really accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they've done a good job for being so fast with it. I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what all the details for the legislations are, but yeah, something needs to be done.
Yeah, I think the details are still supposed to be. Discussed, I think. Like the real fine details, but there are some global points to that they've noticed.
Yeah, so there are already some use cases of which you would could imagine that the use case is more important than protection of the people.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you look at policing and stuff like that. When people are in trouble, you need to be able to help them. And if there are cases, where you can use AI for that.
Yeah,
I think I've read that such cases are already covered. That should be accessible.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jana made a really good point about it when I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. She had some really interesting ideas. And coincidentally, we are going to talk to Jana next week on the podcast and talk really deeply into AI stuff. I would like to add one more thing to this AI article, and I'm wondering what you think about this. Copyright.
That's a difficult point.
It's really difficult, right? Yeah.
How would you define it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in theory, you could say that every article or every song or every text-based media is just a remix of the word book. You know, it's it's kind of is, right? So
yeah, but also, if you look at music, for instance, then there are a lot of cases where you would converge on a same set of sounds, right? Same melody, maybe, if it's short enough.
Yeah.
Without even knowing that it's already being used.
Yeah. I think a really funny example of this is the name for this podcast. Jana made it up, came up with it, and I really liked it. So we went with it. And then last week when we released the first episode, something came across my desk that shocked me. And it was that there's a magazine in the Netherlands released, I think this year, with the same name, or at least the DataCentered part. So I think you could come up with two of the same things at the same time.
But in case of AI, how would you distinguish between has it been copied, has it been inspired, or is it just completely made up and just converged on the same thing?
Yeah, that's a really difficult question. Yeah, especially as you do not fully know how the AI model came up with it.
Well, I think there are a lot of indications that you could know a lot of things, but there are so many small things that the AI models do that you can't keep track of it.
Yeah, it's like a black box.
Yeah.
So that's a difficult a difficult topic. Anyway, so the EU is passing legislation for it right now, and I think that's a good thing. So I guess we can wrap this up for now, for this week. Do you have anything to add?
No, not really. No.
Good, great. And I would like to thank you for watching for this week. And for next week we have Jana and Bas as a guest. They work together on creating a better energy consumption within the data center. More efficient energy consumption, and they use AI for that as well as other types of. But especially Jana, it's very interesting because she has a degree in AI, and she's like the AI master, AI guru, as she would call it, the AI sensei. And she would be here next week, and I'm excited to talk to her about everything AI related. So stay tuned for that. It will be next week. Well, thank you, Matthijs, for joining me for this week. I really appreciate it. It's your first time, and I think you did a great job. I'm very happy about it. And for now, I would like to thank you for listening and watching to this episode. You can leave your comments and whatever you would like in the comments on the YouTube video. And I would like to see you next week. Bye.